Right, okay, let's get the penultimate round of the championship season underway. It is qualifying heat number 1, X30 Senior, Groups E versus F. On the front row, it's Henki Kalteren. He'll be joined by the flying Finn Otto Paikkonen on the front row of the grid. Then it's Devon Hagelen and Tobias Norman, the Netherlands and Denmark on row 2. Belgium and the Netherlands on row 3, Delano Wellens and Eva Dorrestein. Mirko Wouters and Yanni Bouillet make it an all-Belgian row 4. It's an all-Dutch row 5 with Wouter Bergenot and Kaz Orthaus. Niels Lelor and Esteban Walgrave round out row 6. Keanu Wellens and Joey Brown round out row 7. Sam Galuk, Anthony Bongartz, Aaron Sarignac, Riyad Yousfi, Thibaut Vyers and Arthur Huang round out your top 20. Rounding out the 24 strong, they'll be going into battle over the next 10 minutes, plus an additional lap will be Christopher Starr from Belgium. The UK's Luke Taylor, Luxembourg's Ellie Dax, and Belgium's Luca Montebello bringing up the rear of the grid. So, over 125 of you watching on the Iame Series YouTube, Iame Benelux YouTube channel. The drivers now go on to their official formation lap. The temperature is absolutely roasting at the moment. We're getting closer and closer to around about 27 degrees Celsius at the moment. There's a little bit of cloud cover, but fairly minimal at best, to be completely truthful. But it will be down to the drivers to get themselves ready for racing action here at the home of champions. It's a wonderful place to come to year after year. Of course, we had a double header here round about this time last year, where the temperatures were, I know that Simon Mercier, who's going to be joining me in the commentary box for the final round on the 3rd to the 5th of October, he will remember those 2 weekends we were door shut, window open, and hanging on by a thread when it came to perspiration in the commentary box. But the drivers, AAA and Omax, balaclava, race underwear, and everything else. You add a 125cc Iame X30 engine and bolt it to the chassis on the right-hand side. Drivers are going to be suffering with temperatures of around about 50+ degrees centigrade around this circuit. Henki Kalteren and Otto Paikkonen, they're on the front row of the grid. Henki Kalteren, previously with RSD, now with Team Kuhne on the OTK. And he's got the flying Finn on the Croc promotion to his immediate left-hand side. The red lights are on the gantry as we get set and ready to start round number 4 at full velocity. The driver's coming out of the final of the corner. Revs up, lights on. Lights are out first time. It's the run down to turn 1. Good even start by the front row, but Kalteren will hold on to the lead. A little bit of a wiggle from the back end of Paikkonen as they head into turn 1 for the first time. And everyone has got through so far, 3 abreast. It could be a little bit of a carambolage going through into turn number 2, but they all make it steadily through so far. Devon Hagelen fires it up the inside of Henki Kalteren, who has lost the lead to Otto Paikkonen. Tobias Norman up into P2, Hagelen up to 3rd, and Henki Kalteren now into 4th place as Paikkonen holds off Norman, going through into turn 6 and 7, through into 8, and now into 9. But great work by Otto Paikkonen to get the jump on Henki Kalteren early doors. And just behind, I think, is Delano Wellens in 5th place as they come through into turn number 11 down at Cafe Corner. But great start from Otto Paikkonen, the flying Finn, who took 3 wins in the qualifying heat stages last time round. And Hagelen through on Norman at the final corner to take P2. So the man from Fusion Benelux on the charge to close in on the man from Finland and from Croc Promotion.
On est parti, chers amis, pour la première des 11 manches au programme de cet après-midi pour les seniors. Et déjà la bagarre qui fait rage pour la 2e place entre Devon Hagelen et Henki Kalteren, le pilote Kuhne Racing qui vient de se glisser en 2e position devant Hagelen, qui perd une nouvelle place au profit de Tobias Norman, qui se glisse en 3e position dans le virage numéro 5. Et c'est ici évidemment que tout commence pour les concurrents et certains des ténors de la catégorie senior, la classe reine des compétitions Iame X30 évidemment, avec Otto Paikkonen en tête pour l'instant du peloton. On vous rappelle le principe, chacune de ces épreuves durera 10 minutes plus un tour pour voir le drapeau à damier. Et pour Otto Paikkonen, qui a fait main basse sur 3 manches qualificatives il y a 3 semaines de cela pour la 3e manche. Il fut l'un des protagonistes, Otto Paikkonen, lors de notre dernière escapade de la Home of Champions. Et il tient évidemment à prendre sa revanche après avoir perdu la victoire lors de la finale qu'il avait terminée sur la 3e marche du podium. On verra ce qu'il en sera ici dans le cadre de cet avant-dernier rendez-vous de la saison. Paikkonen, 2 dixièmes d'avance. Henki Kalteren qui lui met la pression à la sortie du premier secteur, sous le regard toujours bien aiguisé de Devon Hagelen qui a repris la 3e place devant Tobias Norman. Et nous avons les bagarres entre Delano Wellens pour le gain de la 6e position derrière. C'est Mirko Wouters et Yanni Bouillet là-bas qui se battent pour la 6e place. Delano Wellens un petit peu sur son nuage en 5e position. Puis nous avons Wouter Berganu. Oh, le changement d'épingle. Et il plonge à la corde. Non, il ne s'en laisse pas compter. Henki Kalteren d'entrée de jeu qui prend l'avantage sur Otto Paikkonen pour le leadership de cette première manche.
I had a chat with Henki Kalteren earlier on this morning when he was having a chinwag with Luca Lystra, and both of them are really happy to be in new surroundings, especially Henki Kalteren, as he leads after what is lap number 3 and has the fastest lap of the race so far. So it's Kalteren from Paikkonen, Hagelin, Tobias Norman, Delano Wellens, Mikkel Wouters, Yanni Bouillet. Ava Dorrestein has dropped from 6 at the start. She's currently running P8 ahead of Keanu Wellens, who's made up 4 places from 13th on the grid and is ahead of Wouter Berganu, but a change for second. And it's going to be Kotakut side by side for the briefest of moments as Devon Hagelin got through on Otto Paikkonen, who returned the favour coming out of turn 5 onto the Europalan, but Tobias Norman keeping them all in check. And Henki Kalteren starting to build a little bit of a slight advantage, Guillaume, in this first half of this race.
Oui, en effet. Donc, non seulement il a pris la tête des hostilités avec Kalteren, mais il creuse un écart aussi. Un excellent rythme pour le pilote néerlandais. Ancien membre, évidemment, depuis plusieurs saisons du team RSD Karting, qui a choisi de s'allier pour cette saison au team Kuhn Racing. Changement de couleur. Changement aussi, on verra bien ce qu'il en sera de ses ambitions alors que ça change pour la deuxième place. Devon Hagelin, juste au premier virage, bien joué de la part d'Hagelin, le pilote Team Fusion Motorsport Benelux qui prend la deuxième place à Otto Paikkonen. Alors que pendant ce temps-là, Kalteren creuse l'écart et ça change à nouveau. Et échange de bons procédés entre Paikkonen et Hagelin. Paikkonen qui reprend la deuxième place, qui tente de fermer la porte.
Oh, he's squeezing his way up the
oh,
inside,
contact. Il y a eu un petit contact là entre les deux et ils vont perdre
Tobias Norman.
Le gars de la deuxième place, Tobias Norman, qui en profite d'entrée de jeu dès cette première manche. Ça commence un petit peu à se chauffer, ça se touche les roues. Certainement pas la meilleure des stratégies.
Yes.
Le week-end ne fait commencer, il promet d'être long, il promet d'être ardemment battu et combattu à chacune des manches. Mais dès la première confrontation, commencer à se frotter les roues au risque d'un incident dans l'Europalan, c'est certainement pas le meilleur moyen de voir la finale en un seul morceau.
I'm probably wondering whether he will get invested. Oh, right, okay. Black and white flag to Otto Paikkonen by race control, which means they are keeping an eye on driving standards. So Paikkonen having to do what he can, but Mikkel Wouters has now made his way up to 4th position. I think Devon Hagelin has now ended up behind Delano Wellens. So Mikkel Wouters, and diving up the inside, you've also got at the back of this train, Ava Dorrestein round the outside. Oh, she kept 2 wheels on the grass, kept the throttle firmly planted. There's going to be a dive bomb and a half into turn 6. One did have to go exits, and I think it might have been Dorrestein who went, and there's a little bit of bumping and boring. They can't start doing that at this early stage of this race weekend because, as I said earlier, we are shortened by 1 calendar weekend, which means the pressure is on. Everyone's got to perform, and now it's 2x2 Noah's Ark style coming out of turn number 12. Meantime, at the front end of the field, Tobias Norman is being hunted down by Otto Paikkonen, and Henki Kalteren has got a lead of over 2.6 seconds after 6 laps. And Paikkonen gets through on the Dane into T1. And look at the freight train behind. It's nearly 4 abreast coming out of turn number 1, one of which was an RSD karting entry. I'm not too sure who that was, but nevertheless, Henki Kalteren has bolted away into the distance. And everyone is having to battle over the scraps. So Norman versus Paikkonen. And this could be a move here up the inside. And that was Wouter Berganu. Oh, the elbows are well and truly out, folks. It's now or never. You've got to put up or shut up.
Il y a moins de 4 minutes et un tour jusqu'au drapeau damier et ça se bat à tous les étages. Chaque virage est propice à une tentative, chaque virage est propice à un peu de température qui monte, si ce n'est déjà pas le cas. Il fait très chaud dans notre cabine, il fait très chaud ici à Genk et on sent en tout cas que les esprits s'échauffent tout autant sur le tarmac déjà bouillant de la Home of Champions. C'est ce qu'on aime évidemment à ce niveau de compétition, c'est le top niveau national ici et voire même l'une des compétitions à l'échelon européen les plus prisées, la Iame Series Benelux. Donc le moins que l'on puisse attendre, le minimum qu'on puisse attendre, c'est d'avoir une compétition âprement disputée parmi certains des meilleurs pilotes du cru. Drapeau jaune, vous l'avez vu sur le coin de notre image, un pilote en difficulté mais qui semble avoir continué. Donc ce fut très très bref là-bas. On reste évidemment les 2 yeux concentrés sur la bataille en piste pour l'instant. Elles sont multiples évidemment avec le numéro 234 là-bas, le casque blanc qui se fait chahuter gauche et droite. Les pilotes type Falcon dans le creux du peloton là-bas. En peloton toujours mené de bien belle manière par Henki Kalteren, 2 secondes 5 d'avance sur Otto Paikkonen avec Tobias Norman toujours en 3e position.
I think Ava Dorostein's in trouble. The number 365 might have ended up in the pit lane possibly. So whether Ava Dorestein has sustained damage or something, she did go wide coming out of turn number 6 earlier on, as we were seeing some slipstream battles and some dive bombs there. So whether she's become the first casualty as a lot of the drivers make their way down across. So just going to keep an eye on the live timing. Yanni Bouillet was a little bit further back than where he would have wanted to be. And yeah, well, Ava Dorestein has carried on. She's the fastest out of everybody in the opening sector of this race, but we've got 2 minutes to go, plus an additional lap, and Henki Kalteren's lead is being slightly truncated by Otto Paikkonen at the moment, to the tune of about 2.4 seconds. But the man on the OTK for Team Kuurne doing a really, really good job. Was in the mix for the last couple of seasons under previous territory, RSD karting, if I remember correctly. But he hasn't been featured in the whole of the season. He came back last time. So maybe he decided, you know what, have a bit of a break, relax, reset, refocus, and has come in, new team, new colours, and he's got a new bit of, and a nice move there. That would have been the 333 Devon Hageland, and that is versus Tobias Norman from Denmark. Mikkel Wouters from Eichmann's Grand Prix is closing in, so this is going to be a 3-horse race. Maybe make that a 4-horse race when you've got Yanni Bouillet and Hageland up the inside. Wouters having to wrestle with the... and Bouillet dives to the inside of him through at turn number 10. And then they have got Delano Vellens, I think, just behind them as well. So this is a quintet battling over what is effectively P3 at the moment, as Paikkonen has bolted. Up the inside goes Bouillet, I believe, and has got through on Wouters. Norman is, and you can see Mirko Wouters getting so frustrated. He's pounding the right-hand side of the steering wheel with the right hand, just because the fact someone pulled a number on him.
Oui, effectivement, Yanni Bouillet, vous le voyez, qui est le premier pilote de ce train de 4 qui bloque la porte. Et il la ferme plus que fermement à chacun des virages et ça énerve, vous l'avez vu, Mirko Wouters sur les couleurs du team Ekman's Grand Prix. Mirko Wouters qui tente de passer à gauche comme à droite, qui perd du temps, il en est conscient, avec Tobias Norman et Delano Wellens qui restent dans la même image. Il a décidé à profiter de la moindre opportunité. Mais ça ne fait pas les affaires de Mirko, coincé en 5e position. Yanni Bouillet, il fait sa course évidemment, mais on sent qu'il est légèrement moins rapide ou peut-être moins à l'aise que Mirko Wouters, qui sent l'opportunité éventuellement d'aller faire la différence. Il n'y parvient pas. Yanni Bouillet ferme la porte. Conduite, un pilotage de ce type défensif d'entrée de jeu dans un week-end, c'est certainement parce que certains pilotes veulent voir évidemment. L'important, c'est d'aller essayer de se pousser mutuellement vers l'avant, d'aller chercher le plus de positions et chercher la position la plus haute dans le classement possible. On est dans le dernier tour, chers amis. Henki Kalteren, 2 secondes 2. Véritable domination du pilote néerlandais dans cette première confrontation. Otto Paikkonen qui va, eh bien, si rien ne bouge, rester en 2e position. Encore un peu d'incertitude qui réside là-bas dans cette épreuve, même si pour l'instant, eh bien, Mirko Wouters va tenter de rester devant Tobias Norman pour le gain de la 5e place.
So we are on the final lap of this opening heat out of what will be 6, which will be 9 today of qualifying heats. We'll have another 6 to go tomorrow, totaling 15. But Henki Kalteren, when he got to the front end of the field, he's bolted away. And it is going to be a comfortable win for the man from Team Kuurne from the Netherlands, formerly of RSD karting, now back to winning ways in the 304, crosses the line, takes the checkered flag with consummate ease, and he wins by 2.1 seconds. Ahead of Otto Paikkonen and Devon Hageland from Fusion Motorsport Benelux rounds out the top 3. Yanni Bouillet, Mirko Wouters, Tobias Norman, Keanu and Delano and Keanu Vellens round out your top 8. Joey Brown from the UK makes it up to 9th, having started 14th, and he finishes ahead of David Dorestein, who had to do a little bit of damage limitation there to the lady driver from the Netherlands. She places in 10th position in the 365. Kazort House 11th, ahead of Luca Montebello in the 228, who made up 13 positions to finish P12 on the road. Witterberg rounds out your top 13, ahead of Anthony Bongart and Arthur Huang, who made up 5 places to stay 15th. Niels Lulon, Luke Taylor, Aaron Sarignac, Thibaut Vayers, Esteban Valgrave round out your top 20, followed by Sam Galuk, Ellie Dax, Riyad Yousfi and Christopher Starr, completing the 24 strong runners and riders. Henki Kalteren straight away on the pace, and with it, did a pretty good lap there. Not too far, actually, off of Ava Dorestein's fastest lap. I think that probably was the second fastest lap by anybody in this race, but not by much, probably by, 19 thousandths of a second after 11 minutes of competition.